Hey ladies and gents, this is Linda, FaceChick777, and today I'm coming at you with a design team project for SaCrafters. Now for this project, I have decided to alter a book stack. Now, I didn't use chipboard books, I used real books. So now before you shoot me, what I do is when I go to thrift stores and garage sales, I often keep an eye out for old books that are falling apart because I love books and I don't want to use any books that are in good condition. I want ones that are falling apart, and really the only thing left that people would do with them obviously is throw them in the dumpster. Those are the books for me because then I can tear out and use individual pages or use, 3 books stacked together as in this project, and don't feel bad about it because like I said, I love books. I'm a book lover. There are some awesome books out there. There, in fact, is one greatest book of all time. But, that's another story. Anyway, so what I want to do before I bring out my project is show you what to look for when you look for old books, just in case maybe you want to try this. Because when I did my project, what I did is took 3 books, as I mentioned, and I took the hardbound covers off of them because I really wanted the raw edges of the spine to show. Okay, so let me show you something not to look for. This is a book I found. It was in a free pile at a thrift store. See how the pages of this book right up against the spine here, they're real, they're almost smooth looking. You really can't see a whole lot of definition. I want to get up nice and close for you. A whole lot of definition between the groupings of the pages. Now, when books are bound, a lot of times books like 2 or more pages are laid together and then they are folded into a little group, and these are called signatures, okay? And each of these little groupings makes for the coolness of the raw edge of the book, and all these groupings are put together obviously and then glued into the spine of the book or sewn in or whatever. And I'm no expert by any means, but I've done a little research, so I sound really good, right? Okay, so this is another book I got. Love this book. It literally was falling apart like this when I got it. Shakespeare book. It's a sad thing, but I love this book. But what I want to show you is see on the groups of this spine how you can see a more detailed picture of these groupings. See that little one right there, like that I just flicked past? That is a signature. It's a grouping of a book of page or a stack of pages together. See, there's like a little grouping here, and then you go down, there's a little grouping here. Okay, that's what you want to look for against the spine, where you can really see the definition of these signatures, so that when you tear the spine off, it's a lot easier to get the spine off, and then you end up with this kind of raw edge like that. Isn't that cool? Whereas the other book, and believe me, I've tried, when they're not as defined as these signatures, you can't get the spine off and the pages pretty much just kind of fall apart, okay? So this is what you want to look for if you want this look, okay? And you can certainly do a book stack leaving the covers on, that's no big deal too. That would be, just as pretty. Okay, so I'm going to move my sign out of the way. One other final note, my sign here, get a good look at it, because sometime within the next few videos, I don't know, let's say 2 to 5, I'm going to have a new sign. Woo, woo! Can you believe it? I'm a little tired of looking at this one. So this new name sign is a future SaCrafters DT project. Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to just kind of show you at first with the camera on the tripod, okay? And then I'll probably have to take the camera off so we can get a little something down here, get a really good look at this. Now, this project is kind of grungy, it's steampunky, it's vintage, it's romantic, a little bit of a different thing than what I normally do, my shabby chic. I'm going to bring it back just a little bit further, but I think it's super fun. Now, if you've not tried steampunk or vintage or shabby chic, anything, don't think you can't do it. Get out there and give it a try. I did it. Why the heck not? Nothing that you create is ugly. Everything is beautiful because it comes from your hand and from your hands, from your heart, from your mind. So don't think that you can't achieve a particular style, okay? So get out there, try it. What the heck, I did. I don't think it turned out too bad, you know? I think I could improve. There's still things to learn, but what the heck. I gave it a go. Anyway, so here is my 3-book stack. And obviously you can see the 3 separate books. This book was fun because you can see red in here. When I pulled the cover off, it had some redness there in the spine. So that was a super cool, fun thing because I actually wanted to do my project in blacks and browns and reds. So it was like perfect. So what I'm going to do right first here is just kind of move my book stack around so you can get a look. And then I'll go ahead and take my camera off the tripod. Okay, now first thing I'm going to do is just my lighting. So here's kind of the front, obviously. And then we're going to turn it around this way. And this is one edge of it. Okay, and then you can really see the 3 stacks, okay? And then what I did while I'm right here to show you, after I pulled the hard covers off, I took my Prima Distress tool, boy I can hardly talk tonight, and I took like groupings of pages and I distressed all around the edges. And then I took some Prima chalk ink and some Tim Holtz inks, kind of in different shades of browns, and kind of added some, you know, coloring to kind of give it a little bit of a vintage look on the pages. Okay? All right, so then I'm going to turn it around again to this direction. Now this side, what you see here is I've got like tabs coming out because I kind of wanted the book to all the books to almost act like it had chapters. So I created put little tags in here to create little tabs. Okay, so that's that side. And then as you can see here, I took out of this middle stack, it is a book of music. So I took 3 of the pages out and I rolled them up into little scrolls and then I attached them to the side of the book here. And I did that so it would kind of lift up this top portion of my project a little bit more so it's not just completely flat. Okay? And then I'm going to turn it around to the last side here. Now this side, I added some little tags coming out of the books to almost simulate like bookmarks coming out of the books. Okay, so I had bookmarks on one side, tabs on the other. Thought it was a little bit fun. Okay, all right, let's turn this back around. Now first thing, real quick, like, yes, this is a working clock. You know I'm going to add one if I can. And this side, of course, is real pretty, but when we get to the other side, you're going to see the ugliness of the clock behind it because I had to not cover it up because it's a wind-up clock. So I had to be able to access the wind-up clock and the little button if I needed to change the time. So the other side, not so pretty. Okay, so let me take my camera off the tripod so we can get up close and personal. I'm going to move this up just a little bit first. Okay, all right, here we go. Bear with me. All right, it's going to be a little bit of movement here. Okay. Go sideways. There we go. And let me move my tripod out of the way. And up close and personal we go. Some beautiful projects or products. I always say products and projects in the wrong order. Products from SaCrafters Store adorning this wonderful project. Okay. Hey, I got that in the right order, didn't I? All right, so let's start over on this left side. Do you see how you can really, this one had some really thick groupings, really thick signatures of this book here. So that is really cool looking. This one a little bit thinner and this one thinner still. Okay. So what I've got on this left edge, this is a metal hot air balloon. It's just from the Recollections line at Michael's. And then, of course, I've got some Prima wings. Now, on top of all my embellishments, I used, for some texture, some acrylic paint mixed with sand, black. But on some areas, like my wings here and a couple of others, I had to use, like, cream acrylic paint mixed with sand because I just couldn't stand the thought on this one to add black to my wings. But, you know, whatever. Anyway, so Prima wings there, resin wings, and then this is just a little chipboard piece from one of my collections, My Life is a Fairy Tale. And then down below, this is, it says The Moment in Time, this title. It is a chipboard title from SaCrafters Store. She's got a ton of different titles to use on your projects. I love them. And I love, like, some of them, as in the case of this one, it's got some prints, and then it's got almost like a script as part of the title. Two different types of fonts for this title, and it's wonderful. Now this actually, it comes all together, but it's real easy to cut the words apart. You may have to just kind of smooth the edges on some of it a little bit, but it really makes it nice for like this, where I needed to kind of split it out, you know, and bring this out to the side a little bit more and stuff like that. And so what I did on the chipboard words is I just used Lindy Stamping. I think it was the Mission Bells Brown or something like that on the letters themselves, and then I took black acrylic paint mixed with sand, as I mentioned, and I kind of grungied it up a little bit. And then I took that Mission Bells Brown back over the top a little bit, so on some areas where it is, you can almost see like a coppery brown tone on the sand. I thought that was really cool. Okay, and then as you can see, I wanted to add some chain around it to kind of give it a steampunk feel. So I started here by hooking on the O, and this chain goes all the way around the stack of books, which I'm sure you probably noticed as I was turning it. But this starts here on the O, like I said, comes down around to the gear, then it comes down around to my Roman numerals over here, and then around to the window, and then I will show you how it continues on the other side. Okay, so back over here underneath the chipboard words here, I've got some of this beautiful lace from my stash. To hold the book stack up, I've used the Tim Holtz feet. Okay. And then right up above, next to the wings, I've got a Prima skeleton clock, a metal skeleton clock. Because I have a clock on here, I kind of want to obviously go with a little bit more of clock theme and gears and things like that, so it all tie together. In the middle of the skeleton clock, this is the Prima, the new Prima gears that came out, the Ingville Bohm gears. Little white. All the gears have some, you know, hearts in them or heart shapes or something like that, and it fits just perfectly inside of the skeleton clock. Then I've got some little, is it Ingville Bohm, you guys? I apologize. It may not be. Let me double check. It might be the Finnabar, and I'm sitting here saying Ingville Bohm. Yeah, it's the Finnabar one. Sorry, you guys. The Finnabar skeleton clock. And then it's all Prima. Ingville Bohm and Finnabar, metals and resins. All of a sudden, it's a little bit late, so now I can't even keep my products straight. All right. Anyway, gears right here. And then the little Prima metal clock hands right in the center of that little heart gear. And then I wanted to add a real light bulb. I just thought it was a fun little steampunk thing going on there. Next to the light bulb, this is one of those metal pieces from Momenta line at Michael's. This is just a music note, and I kind of wanted it to go in with the music note paper. And then I've got an angel, a little resin angel, which I know is Ingville Bohm, hanging down here in one of the areas I'll show you, and it is playing the violin. It's playing music, so it's trying to tie in the music theme together. Okay, underneath that, this is a real clock gear. Okay, and on the front of that I added a white, and you can just see it, black metal Prima clock hand, and on the front of that the teeny tiny little Prima gear. And then hanging from that, I've got this beautiful key from SaCrafters Store. It comes in a group of 13 keys, I believe, all different shapes and sizes, so awesome. Okay, and designs. All right, and then as we come over to my clock, I just love the sound of that. You don't hear it. Listen. Oh, just a cute ticking. Right next to my clock, as a lot of you know, my husband and I think I've said it in a few videos when I've done projects of us, we were married on Valentine's Day. So I wanted to carry kind of the 214 theme as well around the project. So this is a metal number 2. It's a brad. And I kind of tucked in there. And then right in here is their Prima Roman numerals, Finnabar. A 1 and the 4 right here, and you can barely see them, but I grunged them up because I didn't really want this to show a whole lot. I just wanted to be, just kind of blend in a little bit, okay? And then on the clock itself, on the edges, I've got these wonderful wood windows from SaCrafters Store. And then behind the clock, you can see see the edges right here. It's a great big chipboard gear. It comes in a package of different shapes and sizes of chipboard gears from SaCrafters shop. And I just placed it placed the clock through the gear because it has an opening like this area here. And then I took this chipboard skeleton clock from SaCrafters shop and then just placed it over the top of that. Okay? So there is that. So there's the front again. I'm sitting there thinking about how Ingvill, Bohm, and Finnebar, how I can't even keep those straight. Sorry, you guys, I feel stupid. Well, to give you a laugh for the night, right? Okay, or the day. All right, here we go. So here's this side. So as you can see, yeah, ugly backing of the clock, but I did try and kind of grungy it up a little bit, but I had to be able to get to this right here, and then to get to that little, right there, that little button can change the time, and this, of course, winds it up. So here again is the chain looping itself around up to a gear up here, then comes down around to this little charm assembly, and then heads on around to the back. Okay? All right. So what we got kind of on this side, again, another real clock gear. And then hanging from this, it's like a little door latch up at the top. I'll show you in a minute. I've got this little bead landing clock charm. And then hanging from that, this is a wooden word from SaCrafters shop. It says, me and you. You get a little set of like 12 of them, I believe. And they all have different sayings on them. And they are just super cute. Super cute. Okay. So, and then you can see some lace kind of hanging out here. You'll be able to see that from the top too. This is just some lace from my stash. Okay, little black and then kind of a cream colored lace. Okay, I'm going to turn my stack around again. Coming around on this side, you can see how the chain comes around, and I've latched it to this little bow I made out of twine. Actually out of burlap. You know when you take burlap and you rip the strands off the edge to kind of make the edge all ratty or whatever. I like to save the little strings because they work good in buttons, and as you can see here, a bow. And then the chain wraps around again over to this little tab I've got sticking out I showed you earlier. Okay, so and 3 little see, I rolled them in the scrolls, little book or sheet music, little pages of sheet music there. And like I said earlier, I did that to kind of lift up this top portion up here. And then I just kind of glued it to the side of the book there. And then my little tabs coming down, again with the February 14th theme. This is a little February tab that stuck out at the bottom book. And this middle book is a little tag. I can't remember which line it comes from, but it says Beloved on it. And then this is just another little tab from one of my paper stashes, and it says the number 2 on it. Okay? All right. Let's bring it around to this side. And then again with the chain, it comes down around this way, loops up to this metal frame here, filigree frame, and then back around, loops to the O on the word moment, on those chipboard words. Okay? And I'll give you a better look from the top. We'll kind of scan down, but I've got a little tab out here that says Love Is. It's just I fussy cut from a paper line canvas core. And then this is a little Ingvill Bohm resin piece, a little angel. And then this is just a little 7 Gypsies tag here. And on the corner, I've got a little filigree ornate little photo corner there, metal one. And then right here, I've played with the 214. Okay. And then on the top here, I've got another little 7 Gypsies tag. It says document, and then I've got a little metal Prima clock hand there. Okay? And I'll give you a better look, you know, that's not backwards and upside downs and sideways. All right, I'm coming up now, and what I'm going to do is turn my stack around so we can get a look at the top portion. Okay? What do you guys think? Is it cute, huh? It is steampunk, that's for sure. A little bit grungy, but a little bit vintage and romantic. So here's my top portion. I'm trying to move my light a little bit so you get a little bit better look. Okay. We'll kind of scan down it here. And so what I've done is I took one of our wedding photos and I printed it out onto a transparency. And then I took that transparency, and I have this other transparency that came from a album that I kind of tore apart. The divider pages were all transparency, so I took it apart and, you know, saved the little pages here because I liked it, because they already have kind of this ornate like design on them. And this one happens to say, remember this, so I thought that was really cool. And then I took and added the, you know, acrylic paint mixed with sand around the edges, daubed them on. At this very tip top, here is, you can see it a little bit better because I was describing on this tag over here, is one of those filigree metal frames. Now this is from my stash, but Saw has these in her shop, and I believe they come in like a copper and a silver. Mine happens to be a bronze, but she does have them. Did you like my finger show there? Anyway, so there's the details on that. Over here to the left side, I used one of those stencils from SaCrafters. It's a 6x6, and it's the Forever Friend stencils. And I just thought it worked because it talks about, you can see the word, you know, have and souls and know. It's, you know, how friendship, you know your souls are just kind of drawn toward each other, etc., etc. I thought that worked great for a romantic, you know, project. Okay. Over to the left here, it kind of blends in, but you can kind of see it. I've got a little black bow from my stash, and then it kind of pleats down this side, and then comes down this way and kind of pleats down this side like this. Okay? And it's hard to tell, but this is, you know, kind of leaned up just slightly on that music note paper, just so it's not exactly flat, and you get a little bit more... what's the word I want to say? The image pops out a little bit more, I notice, when it's kind of up a little bit. So that's why I did that. Okay. Oh, and just a little something I want to show you, because it's really hard to see. You guys know how I like to sew things. So what I did is I took a couple of pages off the top of each book. Let me bring my light down. And I actually, yes, indeed, sewed it. And then I glued those couple of pages back to the top of the book. So all the way around the tops of my pages, you can see where I, you know, had sewed it. You know, just a little something for you to know. I know. Oh, and the other little thing before I go back up to the top, because it just made me think about it. When I glued the book pages together, I then held all the books like in the palm of my hand, and I let the books kind of splay open. And wherever the books kind of splayed open, I took Beacon's 3-in-1 glue, and I glued that section together. Okay, because not all the pages are glued together, as you can see here, but all the different sections that kind of fell open, I glued those together to make it more secure. Okay, so there's just that little tidbit. Anyway, I'm going to move my light just a little bit here while we're up here so it doesn't wash out that white there. So at the bottom of my photo, I've used more of those chipboard gears from SaCrafters. I've got one here. This is a Tim Holtz metal ornate frame here. And over the top of that, I glued, this is from SaCrafters. She has like 4 sets of these, I believe, and they are wooden words, okay, but they are like on these real pretty, the design is like almost a really pretty ornate frame, and then in the center is, you know, beautiful words like always, you know, special, smile, you know, unforgettable, that kind of thing. And like I said, she has like 4 different sets, okay? And then below that, I've got a little gear. This is a Tim Holtz gear, and I just painted it white. And then I've got a Prima metal clock here. Okay, and on the top of that, I've got this wooden clock from SaCrafters. Now, this clock is actually in the shape of like a stopwatch. It has the little top on it, but I just kind of broke that little top off and sanded it. And then over the top of this clock, I placed the vintage faucet knob, water faucet knob, Prima. And then they come with these cute little raindrops that have words on them. And this one, of course, says Bliss, as you can see. And then over to the right of that, I got a little wooden X and O, also from SaCrafters. I've got a little, or actually it's a big one. It's about probably that big. This white heart metal gear by Prima. I've got another little gear over here. I think this is, I don't know if this is Tim Holtz or not, but a little metal gear. I've got a little metal gear here from my stash. I found at a garage sale. This is that those charms were hanging from, that I showed you earlier, is this beautiful ornate, like, cabinet latch or whatever. Sauce carries them in her shop. She's got a few different designs. Just beautiful. I love how teeny it is. I'm going to say maybe 2 inches wide with the cute little latch on it. Just really sweet. And then over to the right of that, on this 7 Gypsies tag, says remember this. I love how that said remember this, and then I layered that transparency over the top that also says remember this. I thought it was just a cute little thing. And at the bottom of that 7 Gypsies tag has this little strip that, you know, is supposed to be like a ticket so you could tear it off. But it said number 214 on it. I know, 214. So I took one of SaCrafters' little chipboard gears and I kind of framed the 214. So obviously I have my little trio of 214 around my project with the here and the 214 by the clock, and then the 214 coming off the little bookmark up at the top. Okay, so I'm going to move my light kind of back up a little bit and then just kind of show you from the side, from the top down. I'll kind of lift it up. My little tabs coming out. See my little tabs coming out from the side of my book here. February, like I said, beloved, and this one says the number 2 there. Okay, and then I'll turn this around and I will show you my little bookmarks coming out of the top of the book. So that says document, and there's the clock hand I showed you. 7 Gypsies tag, another again 7 Gypsies tag, like I said earlier, with the little metal ornate frame, and there's my 214. My little Love Is tag, and there's my little Prima resin angel playing his music notes. Okay, so there it is. I tried my hand at a little bit of steampunk, a little bit of grunge, a little bit of vintage, a little bit of romance. I know. So I hope you guys like it. I will have the link down below, of course, to SaCrafters shop. And I will have the link down below to my blog that has some close-up photos of this. And then direct links to the products I used in this project. Got them in the right order. Anyway, thanks for sharing your time with me. Stay tuned. I've got some other projects in the works. I've got like 3 I'm working on simultaneously, so those will be coming out really soon. That's all I got to say for this video. Like I said, thanks for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.